If you really want to be fluent in English, subscribe us. When you are shy, it feels like there's a big wall between you and other people. You want to talk, but the words don't come out. You want to join in, but your feet stay stuck in place. It's like there's an invisible hand holding you back. But it's okay. Being shy is not bad. It means you care about what others think. It means you want to do things right. You want to be liked and accepted. These feelings are normal. Many people feel the same way. When you're shy, you might look down a lot. You might feel your heart beating fast. You might even feel warm in your face, like you're blushing. But remember, these feelings don't last forever. They come and go, and you can learn to manage them. You can learn to be brave little by little. It starts with one small step, just one. Maybe today you smile at someone, just a small smile. It doesn't have to be big, but it's a start. Sometimes when you're shy, you might feel alone. You might think you're the only one who feels this way, but you're not alone. Many people feel shy, even the people who seem confident. They have moments when they feel unsure. They have moments when they feel scared, but they've learned to push through it. They've learned to take that first step, and you can too. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to feel shy, but don't let it stop you. When you're shy, it can help to practice. Practice what you want to say. Practice in front of a mirror. It might feel silly at first, but it helps. It helps to see yourself speaking. It helps to hear your own voice. You can even practice with a friend or family member, someone you trust. They can give you feedback. They can help you feel more comfortable. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to start small. When you feel shy, remember to breathe. Take deep breaths in and out, slowly. This helps to calm your heart. It helps to calm your mind. It helps you to focus. When you're calm, it's easier to speak. It's easier to smile. It's easier to take that first step. Don't worry if you stumble. Don't worry if you make a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. It's part of learning. It's part of growing. Sometimes when you're shy, you might avoid things. You might avoid people. But avoiding doesn't make the shyness go away. It makes it stronger. The more you avoid, the more it grows. But when you face your fears, they get smaller. When you take that first step, the wall starts to crumble. It gets easier. Each time it gets a little easier. And before you know it, you're not as shy as you used to be. When you're shy, it's important to be kind to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone has their own pace. Everyone has their own challenges. What's important is that you keep trying, that you keep moving forward, even if it's just a little bit. Every step counts. Every smile counts. Every word counts. You are doing great. You might not believe it, but being shy can be a gift. It can make you more thoughtful. It can make you more understanding. It can make you a better listener. People who are shy often notice things others don't. They see the details. They hear the quiet voices. They feel the emotions in the room. These are strengths. These are qualities that make you special. Don't forget that. There was once a little girl who was very shy. She didn't talk much at school. She didn't raise her hand in class. She didn't play with the other kids. She was afraid they wouldn't like her. She was afraid they would laugh at her, so she stayed quiet. She stayed by herself, but deep down, she wanted to join in. She wanted to make friends. She wanted to be part of the group. One day, the teacher asked the class to give a speech. Each student had to talk about something they loved. The little girl was terrified. She didn't want to stand in front of everyone. She didn't want to speak, but she knew she had to do it. She knew she couldn't hide. So she thought about what she loved. She thought about her grandmother who always told her stories. Her grandmother who made her feel safe. Her grandmother who believed in her. The day of the speech came. The little girl stood in front of the class. Her hands were shaking. Her voice was soft, but she started to talk. She talked about her grandmother. She talked about the stories they shared. She talked about the love they had. As she spoke, the room grew quiet. The other kids listened. They didn't laugh. They didn't tease. They listened. Because they could feel her emotions. They could feel the love in her words. When she finished, the room was silent. Then, one by one, the kids started to clap. They clapped and clapped. The little girl couldn't believe it. They liked her speech. They liked what she had to say. For the first time, she felt proud. She felt seen. She felt like she belonged. And from that day on, she wasn't as shy. She still felt nervous sometimes, but she knew she could do it. She knew she could be brave. Years later, the little girl grew up. She became a writer. She wrote stories about people, about their feelings, about their lives. She wrote stories that touched people's hearts, and every time she wrote, she thought about her grandmother. She thought about that speech. She thought about how it changed her life. She still felt shy sometimes, but she knew she could push through it. She knew she could take that first step. Another story is about a young boy. He was shy too. He didn't like to talk in front of people. He didn't like to be the center of attention. But he loved music. He loved to play the piano. When he played, he forgot about everything else. He forgot about his shyness. He forgot about his fears. He just played. The music made him feel free. It made him feel alive. One day there was a talent show at school. The boy's teacher asked him to play the piano. But the boy was scared. He didn't want to play in front of everyone. He didn't want them to look at him. But he loved the piano. He loved the music. So he decided to be brave. He decided to play. The day of the show came. The boy sat at the piano. His hands were shaking. His heart was racing. But he started to play. As he played, the room filled with music. Beautiful, sweet music. The boy forgot about the people watching. He forgot about his fears. He just played. The music took over. It flowed from his heart, through his fingers, into the piano, and everyone listened. They didn't see a shy boy. They saw a talented musician. They saw someone who loved what he was doing. They saw someone who was brave. When he finished, the room erupted in applause. The boy looked up, surprised. They liked it. They liked his music. He felt a warmth in his chest, a feeling of joy, a feeling of pride. He had faced his fear. He had taken that first step, and it felt good. From that day on, the boy played the piano whenever he could. He played for his family. He played for his friends, and each time he felt a little less shy. Years later, the boy grew up. He became a music teacher. He taught other kids to play the piano. He taught them to love music as much as he did. He also taught them to be brave, to take that first step, to face their fears. He told them about his own shyness. He told them about the talent show, and he told them that it's okay to be shy. It's okay to be scared, but don't let it stop you. There's a woman who gives speeches now. She wasn't always a speaker. She wasn't always confident. She used to be very shy. She used to be afraid to talk in front of people. But she had a story to tell, a story that was important, a story that could help others. So she learned to speak. She learned to stand in front of a crowd. She learned to share her story. One day, she was invited to speak at a big event. There were hundreds of people in the audience. The woman felt nervous. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was pounding. But she remembered why she was there. She remembered the people she wanted to help. So she took a deep breath. She walked up to the microphone, and she started to speak. She spoke about her life, about the struggles she faced, about the time she felt alone, about the time she felt like giving up. She spoke about the people who helped her, the people who believed in her, the people who made a difference in her life. As she spoke, the room was silent. Everyone was listening. Everyone could feel her emotions. Everyone could see her strength. By the time she finished, there were tears in the eyes of many in the audience. They were moved by her story. They were inspired by her courage. The woman felt a mix of emotions. She was still nervous, but she was also proud. Proud that she had made a difference. Proud that she had touched people's hearts. And she knew that she had overcome her shyness. She had faced her fears. She had taken that first step. Another story is about a young man. He was shy and quiet. He didn't talk much. He didn't make many friends. But he loved to write. He wrote stories and poems. He wrote about his feelings. He wrote about his dreams. But he kept his writing to himself. He didn't share it with anyone. He was afraid they wouldn't like it. He was afraid they would laugh at him. One day his teacher asked the class to share something they had created. The young man hesitated. He didn't want to share his writing. But he knew this was his chance. This was his chance to be brave. So he decided to share. He read one of his poems. His voice was shaky. His hands were trembling. But he kept going. He kept reading. When he finished, there was a long pause. The young man looked down, waiting for the laughter. But then he heard clapping, soft at first, then louder. The class was clapping for him. They liked his poem. They liked his words. The young man couldn't believe it. He felt a rush of emotions. He felt relieved. He felt happy. He felt proud. From that day on, the young man shared more of his writing. He wrote more stories. He wrote more poems, and he shared them with others. He still felt shy sometimes. He still felt nervous, but he knew he could do it. He knew he could be brave, and each time he shared, it got a little easier. Each time he felt a little stronger. The young man grew up to be a writer, a famous writer. People all over the world read his books. They were moved by his words. They were touched by his stories. And the young man was proud. Proud of what he had achieved. Proud that he had overcome his shyness. He knew that being shy didn't have to hold him back. He knew that he could be brave. And he knew that his words had the power to make a difference. Sometimes being shy can feel like a heavy weight. It can feel like something that's holding you down. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can learn to be brave. You can learn to take that first step. It might be hard at first. It might feel scary. But you can do it. You can face your fears. You can be strong. When you feel shy, remember that it's okay. It's okay to feel nervous. It's okay to feel scared. But don't let it stop you. Don't let it hold you back. You have so much to offer. You have so much to share. The world needs your voice. The world needs your story. So take that first step. Be brave. And watch as the world opens up to you.